Hey everyone, it's me, nominees on the Arc Truth, and I'm sorry that I did not make a video yesterday. I was out watching The Joker. And if you guys want to hear my personal reviews on what I think of the movie, which, by the way, I thought it was awesome, please be sure to post that down in the comment section down below. And if there's enough people that actually want to hear my review on this movie itself, I will definitely make it on either Sunday or this upcoming Wednesday. I would love to do it earlier on Tuesday, but I will probably have some stuff to do, so I apologize in advance for that. But if there are enough people that definitely want to hear my side on how I like the Joker, please be sure to post them down in the comment section below. I will try to do it this Sunday if there's enough people, or this Wednesday. Anyway, Bernie Sanders. He recently had a heart attack. In fact, there was some clottering of some of his coronary arteries, as I've heard from the news. And fortunately, the guy is now okay. As much as I don't like him, considering that he's a Democrat and a full devoted socialist, I'm really glad that he's okay right now. I don't like the idea of wishing anyone any suffering, but still, that must have been a pretty scary situation. If I were just to look into his perspective, after all, the guy is 78 years old. 78 years old. He's just really old. But I'm getting too ahead of myself. He is already back onto the campaign trail. Unfortunately, the fact that he had to go in for surgery means that he had to take some days off, giving his opponents enough time in order to go out and campaign throughout the country in order to push their own message. Bernie Sanders lost that time, and it's something that he cannot take back. He has said that he is going to come into the fourth Democratic presidential debate, so that alone is something good. Fortunately for him, also, he's still at the very top of the candidacy list, either in second or third behind either Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden. Still, Joe Biden is being propped up by the Democratic National Committee, and as well as Elizabeth Warren, who would be a potential replacement in the case for Joe Biden having something bad happen to him, or if he suddenly lost popular support, which honestly I don't believe there's much out there to begin with, especially with the current schism within the Democratic Party. But nonetheless, he still has some of that support, which is why he's still top of the polls. But nonetheless, it's the fact that Bernie Sanders had a heart attack is going to be derailing a little bit of his campaign. Now, I said before that of the massive amount of time lost as a result of the campaign, but that's just only a part of it. That is just one part of it, because there has been many attacks made by the Democrats against President Donald Trump over his quote-unquote suitability for office, meaning that he may be mentally deranged or just in bad health or a dictator or something like that. But this is only just causing him to have this one event occurring for Bernie Sanders only just illustrate many of the problems with that narrative. Because if they're going against someone they claim that has mental illness or is unhealthy or is just evil, you're gonna have to look yourselves in the mirror, Democrats, because Bernie Sanders, with his heart attack, his own health and suitability for at least living long enough for one term at least, is going to come into question. Now, that's not forgetting the fact that Joe Biden has also been having his own issues as well. I mean, we have seen one time his own eye actually got red because of blood, and it was bleeding and stuff. Well, not exactly bleeding like out of his eye or anything. That would have been kind of like a horror show, I think. But nonetheless, that only shows that he is having problems, and it doesn't help with the fact that he's screwed up on so many issues on what to say. Having that old man sort of moment where he just cannot remember, or that he has well, just can't remember, or he may have dementia. There are a lot of people, especially on YouTube, that are questioning whether or not Joe Biden may actually have that. And yeah, the science may be there, but nonetheless, this only shows that their own narrative of attacking Trump is not really looking. It's not really giving them enough credit. And what I mean is that it's just going full-blown in their face. It's something that Donald Trump would potentially use, as the Democrats are going to go in and get their own nominee to fight against the President of the United States. In this case, it's the three big guys: Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Joe Biden. Joe Biden, Donald Trump can easily attack with possible dementia, or just short-term memory loss. Bernie Sanders, the heart attack issue, and of course, Elizabeth Warren for her lies and deceit. Something that would definitely carry major baggage with the Democratic Party. I'm pretty sure that either way, the Democrats are not really going to have the best in terms of dealing with President Donald Trump. In my personal opinion, if I were a Democrat, I would personally pick Bernie Sanders. Yes, he is a full-blown socialist, but in a way, that would just help rile up the progressive faction within the Democratic Party, which has been growing in constant strength. Now, I'm thinking of the short term here, and I'm thinking of trying to get the 2020 presidential election. So the reputation of the Democratic Party is not exactly what I'm looking at achieving. It's trying to win the presidency in the upcoming year. I would pick Bernie Sanders because he can rile up that base, kind of like he did in 2016. He doesn't have that much of that much swag anymore. I'm just gonna say swag, to personally get that faction up and running as much as he used to. But nonetheless, considering these three Democratic candidates within the presidential election right now, he definitely has that more connection to the progressive faction or the far left faction, and get them riled up to maybe vote. I'll just say maybe because of kind of because of some issues of trying to get the youth to vote, and as we all know, the youth is not very likely to go out and vote. It's mainly the older generation, believe it or not, which, in my personal opinion, doesn't surprise me. But nonetheless, he can easily get that faction to support his campaign, and that would definitely be a good boost for the Democratic Party. That would give them the youth vote to an extent, and the progressive and far left vote to an extent again. But nonetheless, I don't think that either Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden or Elizabeth Warren are going to stand much against Trump because of the amount of baggage that they're carrying for right now throughout this entire campaign. And this is just the primaries. We're still at least somewhat less than 2 months from 2020. 2 months from 2020. And they still haven't picked out their candidate yet. It's just, I honestly do not believe that with the current candidates in the election, that anything would come out with a Democratic victory. Not even these rumors of Hillary Clinton campaigning for a 2020 presidential election, which honestly I don't believe that's going to be the case, because it would just be 2016 all over again. Let's just be real. If Hillary Clinton actually ran in 2020, she would get massacred. Probably, maybe not by the other Democrats, considering that she is a career politician and she is definitely been a long-time Democrat and with a huge amount of power and backing, I might add. But she would definitely get wrecked in the general election in the United States. People would rather have a Republican, probably the worst kind of Republican candidate ever, than Hillary Clinton. I am willing to place my bet on that. And that's why I don't believe that Hillary Clinton is going to run in 2020. Regardless, all these candidates have is a lot of baggage. Bernie Sanders is old. He has there's going to be some questions about his health. Joe Biden, while he's also old, it's more about mental illness. And Elizabeth Warren, do I need to say more? With her, especially with her lying for 4 decades about her Native American ancestry. Do I really need to say more? So yeah, I believe that personally, the Democrats are not going to come out with a winning streak this upcoming election. I've said this before many times, but with the current propping up of the 3 major candidates, I wouldn't expect any of them to actually stand toe to toe with Joe Biden. Or no, not Joe Biden, Donald Trump. The best I think would be, again, Bernie Sanders, just because that he still has a little bit of that attraction. But again, that's just about it. I believe that either way, with whoever the Democrats choose, they will get massacred in the upcoming 2020 election. All simply because of the massive amount of baggage that they're carrying. And Bernie Sanders' heart attack only shows this in a clear view. My name is nominees, not the Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with friends. Also, if you guys have any issues with how I speak or how I frame my videos, etc., please be sure to post them down in the comments down below or directly message me. Thank you.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain.